Hi, everyone. I am Grace. I am your host for the evening. All right, tonight we are speaking with Sara Hart, who is the co-executive director for the Metropolitan School of the Arts, and we are going to talk all things their upcoming performance and Spring to Action Day. So let's welcome Sara. Hi, Sara.
Hi,
How are you?
Hi, Grace. I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. I'm so glad you could join us tonight. We have some exciting things to talk about, but before we get there, tell us a little bit about the Metropolitan School of the Arts. So, what your program is like, what the year has been like for you. Let's just start with what you guys offer.
Sure. Yes, it's been an interesting year for everybody, I think. So, Metropolitan School of the Arts is a performing arts school. Um, there are a lot of components to what we have. We started as an after school program about 20 years ago, and it's what a dance studio, what you would imagine. And as the years progressed and we grew, there are several different departments. We've got music department, fitness department, and then it grew into also another division of an academy school. So it's a full-time school that kids come from the very early morning, 9 a.m., and do their academics and do arts, and then some stay after school as well to join the other classes. So anything dance, music, theater related, that's kind of what you do at Metropolitan School of the Arts. And just like many other organizations, through COVID, we've faced some challenges of how do you do that in this new world. And have learned a lot and have reinvented and are just grateful to still have our doors open to give this to kids and to all of the other artists that are involved, our faculty and staff that we've kept employed, to still have a home, a place called a home. So despite those challenges, we're very fortunate.
Yeah, oh, it's amazing that you guys have kept your doors open and kept everyone in, especially for the kids, too. So, you guys are a full time school, you're not a boarding school. So, would kids have the option to do like public school somewhere else and then just come for dance classes?
Absolutely. So we have a pre-professional track that's after school as well. So many go through the public school system and spend every evening, almost 7 days a week, training and then go on to programs too. So, yep, that's absolutely a possibility.
Wonderful. And you do have some students who do go professional and
Hmm.
do end up doing arts for their careers.
Hmm. We do. We have several kids. Some will take the ballet track. In fact, the upcoming performance that we have, I will share that there's a couple students that are already accepted into some great ballet training programs in Louisville and ballet in Texas. So in Richmond Ballet, they really they pour their hearts and souls into this, and they make tremendous sacrifices to spend hours in the studio and then end up reaching their goals even through this COVID situation. There's a lot of online auditions. And many of them also go to a music theater track. So we've got some kids going to some top schools for music theater and dance. So we're excited to congratulate them and at least have some positive things happen, especially this year.
Yeah, oh, of course. And so you're non competitive, but you do perform. Tell
Mhm.
us what, before COVID, your performances were like. How would a typical evening go for a performance?
Sure, good memories. So for our normal performances, I'll use spring ballet for instance. We would have a whole weekend full of sold out shows, and many things around that. We would have a tea, we would have a pre-show, we'd have autographs afterwards with any of the little kids that come. All of our characters come out and sign autographs. So it's a huge weekend, and you build the whole year to kind of get to this point and hear the applause. So that is not happening. All of our performances have either been a live stream cabaret benefit or have been, Nutcracker was also a pre-recorded show, and we live stream them. So people are watching from their homes, which feels a little bit different. The wonderful news is that the kids are still growing. They're still rehearsing. They're working towards something, which has meant so much to them when many are not even in their schools, until recently. So they've grown as artists, and it's kind of just a testament to you just can't kind of we don't quit. So we just reinvent. And so performances this year look different, but we're still buying a ticket. You just watch them from home, and you have your tea at home, and can watch from anywhere to see the performances.
That's great. Yeah, the resilience of everyone at the Metropolitan School of the Arts is obvious. So let's now talk a little bit about your virtual performances. So you have one coming up, and that is Sleeping Beauty. Give us all the details on what we need to know about that.
Sure. So Sleeping Beauty is actually recording as we speak. They are at the George Washington Masonic Memorial, and they will be there filming 3 separate casts. So 3 different groups of people. So everybody gets an opportunity to play these dream roles. It's a classic fairy tale. So our artistic director, Jackie Doherty, did a wonderful job of saying, let's make this a Mother's Day weekend. And we will be streaming it on May 8th and 9th. So what you can do is you can visit our website, metropolitanarts.org/tickets, and you can purchase a ticket anytime starting now. And then you will get a code, and you can watch it for 48 hours. So we found that some people are watching from California or Europe and all over the place. So this way they get to watch it when it's convenient for them. And you have a chance to buy their $20 tickets for one, $25 for 2, and $30 for 3 tickets, because a lot of people want to see all different casts. So it's great. It's great for little ones. They know the story. They get to see their favorite princess. It's a romantic story. It's about royalty. So it's a wonderful choice for this time of year, and some really beautiful performances from these kids that are still kids. We also have an alumni coming back who was in the original with MSA. She's playing the queen, so it's kind of full circle. Yep, that's a beautiful aurora. So we're really excited about just having an escape from reality still. I think people are still trying to look for things to do. So we'd love for you to join us. And again, that's Mother's Day weekend, May 8th and 9th.
Okay, wonderful. And tell us again the website that they go to purchase the tickets.
Sure. Yep, it's metropolitanarts.org/tickets.
Perfect. All right, and so virtual performances, I'm sure, are not the same. So how has that adjustment been for the staff and for the dancers themselves from in person to your current virtual performances like Sleeping Beauty?
Sure. It's been challenging, but I keep sharing with people. It's also kind of exciting to be learning something new. I think as artists, we always want to learn something new. The team is the same team. We've employed a lot of the same private contractors that we can, our videographer, our directors, to keep them working during this time. It's an intimate situation. For the dancers, it's a lot different. First of all, they're masked. So there's been a lot of talk about we need to run this several times to get the right take. It's not just running it once and say, okay, it's live theater, there you go. So in mask, and it's been building up their stamina and endurance to get through something like that. So that's different for them. And I think as directors and choreographers and cinematographers, we're just looking through a lens as opposed to standing back and looking at the full picture. So for me, even staging some things, I've realized I would like to look at my work maybe in the fall compared to now, because you learn, oh, well, that didn't quite work how I thought in my head. And you start filming even with your iPhone during rehearsals to say that's what that's going to look like. And I've also told people this is stuff we can take with us. So even though we're so excited to have live theater back, this is a whole new outlet that we may not have explored yet or had the time to, or even really just had the time to explore. And I think it's pretty exciting to see how we can combine all of that in the future when we are back for live performances.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the internet poses challenges, and this year has posed many, many challenges, but there is also a lot of advantage to the internet. And so what have some advantages for these personal performances been for the Metropolitan School of the Arts?
Sure. Well, like I said earlier, there's family members that can't always travel to see, their cousins, their nieces and nephews and grandchildren. So I think that we've opened up to a larger audience, which is nice. And then, of course, social media kind of, it just brings awareness to your organization in a different kind of way. We've had a couple videos that have reached 10,000 views already. And we don't have 10,000 followers, although we would love it. Um, I think it's just really cool to see who you can reach, and those performances would not be seen maybe by all those people, because they'd have to get a ticket and they'd have to go and see you at a certain time. So having some of these dance concept videos, even that make some really wonderful statements, has been great to get a comment from somebody and go like, oh, who's that? They're not even related to us. That's really cool. So to share what kind of a performance how it can make somebody feel, or any of that stuff, So it definitely has brought awareness to our community, and it has opened doors for who knows about us.
Yeah, oh, of course. That's amazing. I mean, the reach that you guys have now just because of these virtual performances is really something to be
Right.
celebrated. And
Mm-hmm.
so they are virtual, but you guys do film them on site, like at the George Washington Masonic Memorial. So do you
Yeah.
typically do on-site shoots like that for your virtual performances?
We try to. We've had some interesting locations. We try to, especially for a ballet, you've got to make sure that you've got a safe space for them to perform with pointe shoes, for sure. And I think for the kids, feeling like they're in a theater makes it all the much more special. Um, but we've also had some interesting shoots that we've learned from. We did a Super Bowl video and had to get a space for a football field. It was really a soccer field. I believe the call time was 6 a.m. and these kids did not even think twice. They got up, they brought their blankets, but it was cold. It was about 30 degrees, and we realized we should have had gloves for our costume. So the next time we did an outdoor shoot, we definitely made sure we had gloves that matched our outfit. But I think it makes it exciting, when you lose some of the components of live theater, just to be somewhere else and provide an environment. I mean, it's really your set then. Instead of something straight behind you in the theater, you're thinking about where are we filming and what does the set provide for our message or for the vision. A few have been at the studio, which have also been great. And like I said, at Masonic, we performed 2 already. We have filmed 2 videos there. So they have been awesome in supporting us through a time when we didn't have many spaces to go to. They even provided heaters for some of our dancers during one video shoot and said, please come in and take a break. And they did. So we're grateful for that community, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the resiliency too is apparent with these on
Mm-hmm.
site shoots, like you mentioned, the hands and the cold. That's
They were so cool. Yeah,
intense. That's intense.
it is. I think when kids have a passion, which many of them do, and once it's taken away from them, even for a short time when we were at home, we started in living rooms and now have transitioned much of it back into in person. But I think when you lose something and you realize how precious it is and how much you really do like it, they'll do it. They'll do anything. So yeah, we laugh about the Super Bowl video, but it's a memory we'll never forget, for sure. And they have uh, imagine all of the difficulties of being a teenager and growing up normally, and now you're not in school and you're going through a pandemic, which no one has experienced, and for us, right, even as adults. And so I am constantly inspired by what they have done and how they've committed and stayed dedicated. I really think, I've heard it from other faculty too, it's the reason we do what we're doing still. It's the reason we get through this. I've still had something to do that keeps me passionate through COVID. So it's been good for everybody to be able to still do this.
Yeah, oh, that passion is so important to be able to see it within not just the people you look up to, but everyone
Mm-hmm.
around you, your peers too. That is
Right.
very important to help you keep moving forward and push through these hard times. I think
Right.
this whole past year has been about making memories and building
Yeah.
character. And
Yes,
yeah, now
for sure.
looking forward into 2021, um,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of your goals for just your performances and the school itself and fundraising? What are some of your goals like that?
Sure. So we are a part of Spring to Action this year. Our fundraising goal was $250,000. And we have raised 188,000 so far. We are so fortunate. for a wonderful community of dancers and families who have stuck by us, for people who are paying for tickets still to see our virtual performances and making donations themselves. We would not be open if we didn't have that support from the community. So our goal is really to reach, we have 62,000 more to raise because we don't know what is going to happen in the future. We were fortunate to have government assistance, but without knowing when we can really, we've lost 200 students. And not knowing if we're going to open the doors and those students will flood back in or not, we have to make sure that we continue to be responsible and fundraise to make sure that we're prepped for anything else that could come our way. We have kept our faculty and staff employed the whole way through. So our operational budget is still the same. And so that's difficult when you don't have as many students. But we're doing it, and we're so lucky. We're so lucky our doors are open. So we're looking for that support. And in the future, we're hoping that the pandemic can go behind us. We can welcome more kids into each studio at a time. That's where we're really limited. We are very conservative in our safety protocols and keep 10 feet apart for all kids. The masks have not been a situation. They've been great. Even our 3-year-olds have been awesome. And so I think that the future of welcoming more kids into each classroom and getting rid of just the Zoom for a little bit. So we're not teaching right now, we're teaching kids at home and in person for many of those classes. I think we're all looking forward to that. And live performances, I can't imagine. I think everybody gets kind of overwhelmed that's at the school, thinking about what that will feel like when we're finally able to do it. So yeah, that's kind of the future of MSA. And then should we reach those goals, we really want to continue to raise money then for scholarships for kids that may not be fortunate enough to be able to come to us, but have a passion and have a drive. So we'd like to set up a scholarship fund to be able to offer that to more students.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And so you already told us where to go to get tickets, metropolitanarts.org/tickets. Where can people go to donate on your website?
To donate, you can go to metropolitanarts.org/support. You can also go to the Spring to Action page, which is up now, and you just search Metropolitan School of the Arts and we come up, and you can also donate through that.
Okay, great. And so Spring to Action next Wednesday, April 28th, is going to be a huge day. So many establishments and nonprofits and just great organizations are going to be there and going to be participating. So tell us a little bit about what you guys have planned for that day, for Spring to Action, the big day.
Sure. Yes, we're super grateful to be a part of this community and all the other nonprofits and organizations like in our backyard. It's a huge community effort. For that day, we talked about, we really, obviously I shared, we've raised $188,000, which during COVID is wonderful. And we wanted to make sure that we were showing a message of gratitude and explaining to those that may not know us, bring awareness to our community and how large it really is. As I told you, there's a lot of different departments in Metropolitan, but these kids stay with us. So it's the dancers that go on to school or have already graduated and come back and teach, and their families. They spend so much time there, and we wanted to kind of express what that means. It is about dance. It is about training and music and acting and all of that, but it is really about those relationships and the mentorship. So we have interviewed everybody and just asked them a little bit about why they feel MSA is special to them and what they'd like to thank MSA and our community for. And so we will have guest artists who are from New York and LA and Chicago, all who we've kept employed, even teaching virtual classes, who are thanking the community for taking class and for asking them to still work. And alumni who have performed in some of our benefit concerts, which has been awesome, to see their growth and see their faces again, and just to have them back. And then all of our different divisions and how they've managed through COVID and why, what are their challenges? What are their, what will they take with them? And what they are grateful for just in this community, because I think that sharing that kind of message during this time is so important. And then letting them know why we want to keep this place open and why we need the funding and why we still need their support. So those videos will all be on social media. We have like one per hour. And then at the very end, of course, we have a show. The Academy students are performing a benefit cabaret at Burton's Grill and Bar in Alexandria, who's a wonderful sponsor and have worked with us through all of this as well. They're going to perform some songs outside on the patio so they can grab food, sit outside, or watch on Facebook. We will stream it Facebook Live for those people that are at home. And Burton's is offering a great deal, and they're going to donate to us for the food that you buy. So it'll be a fun night. That is April 28th on the day from 6 to 8 p.m.
Oh, perfect. That's so exciting. And so the other videos that you're showing, you said they're available on social media. Is that just all of the MSA social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the stuff that you guys have?
Yep.
Perfect.
All of them.
And then where can people find you? What's your social media handle?
So our social media handle is Metropolitan_arts. And if you just type in Metropolitan School of the Arts in Facebook, that comes up too. That's
Great.
Primarily where you'll see everything.
Okay, perfect. And we got a question. I want to go back to our discussion on your performances. Do you guys do regular performances? We have a question from Lucille who says, doesn't MSA usually provide the performance for the holiday tree lighting at Market Square?
We do. Yes, we do. It used to be called Frosty Follies. It is now called Santa Spectacular. That is MSA, and we did not get to do it this year. But what we did do is videotape. We taught all new dances, and we videotaped it and pulled it into a movie because we travel around for tree lightings, but we also go to some children's hospitals and other wonderful organizations that need to feel that joy during the holidays. And we were able to compile it into a movie and get it on a QR code, and we sent it to the hospitals so they were able to either watch it on their personal devices. We also sent it to many, I think about 20 assisted living groups that I was able to speak to, and they said, we would love it. Thank you so much for thinking of us, because not only did the kids want to perform and miss that, but that's the whole point of that show. So yes, we do normally do that. That is us.
Oh, that's great.
And hopefully we'll be back.
Yeah,
soon.
Of course. Absolutely. Yes. No, that's so important too, to just keep that spirit alive. And you and I were speaking a little bit before the show, and you had mentioned that MSA has a theme for every year. So let's talk about themes through the years, and especially transitioning into last year and how important that theme was.
Right. So the faculty always tries to keep it cool with the kids. So we have to create hashtags. That started about 3 years ago. Right. So that we're cool too. So our first hashtag was, is it fun yet? Because we wanted to remind ourselves as faculty that this is a super fun job. Gets hard sometimes. But we wanted to say, if we're having fun, the kids will have fun. So that was our first hashtag. Second hashtag was, find the joy. And that was about making sure that when the kids come in, yes, they work hard. Yes, we hold them to a certain standard, but we want it to be from them and from their heart, and find what their passion is. Like I said, we have so many different things: the academy, the studio, ballet, tap, jazz, contemporary. What is their thing at this moment? Because it might change. And find that and remember it, and remember why they always started and what they like about it, on those hard days. Well, COVID happened, and then we switched to keeping the joy because we were dancing from home. So that became, who knew that first hashtag was going to be so important last year, which led us into Spring to Action, and we created the Joy Fund, which we still have today, which was our emergency relief fund, so that we could try to stay open in such a difficult time, not knowing if we were going to be able to make this virtual thing happen. And now we still have the Joy Fund. This year, we have our hashtag is the best is yet to come. And we chose that to say, stick with us, because if we get through this hard time, we'll get back, and it's going to be even better than we thought. So that's what we have this year.
Oh, those are beautiful. Who knew hashtags could be so inspirational?
I know. And then every year I was like, are we setting ourselves up? What if we have a bad one? But I do think it kind of unites, again, about community. It kind of pulls the faculty and the staff and the families all together. all departments together. So so far it really helps. It's fun.
Well, that's awesome, and it looks like it's going to keep helping you guys. I mean, you guys have
Yeah.
you've come so far, and you've done amazing things over these
Thank
last few
you.
years, especially over the last year of COVID. And I am excited to see where you guys go in the future. I'm excited to
Thank
see how Spring to Action pans out. I know you guys are going to hit your goal.
Thank
And
you.
remind us one more time of when your upcoming performances and where people can go to watch it.
Yep, sure. So we have our spring ballet, Sleeping Beauty. You can purchase tickets now at metropolitanarts.org/tickets. Those will be streamed on May 8th and 9th. So you will buy the ticket and you will get a code and you can watch it for 48 hours starting at midnight on May 8th and ending 11:59 on May 9th. That's our first upcoming performance. And then we have Spring to Action. You can look at Spring to Action page and donate directly all the way up through the 28th. Starting now through the 28th, you just search our organization, Metropolitan School of the Arts, and that will link you to where you can donate, or you can still donate on our website, metropolitanarts.org/support.
Awesome. May 8th and 9th and April 28th. Those are the magic dates. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sarah, for taking the time and being here tonight and just telling us everything about MSA.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys, that was it for this episode of ZTV. It is Thursday, so that concludes the week for us. But next week, on Monday, we have your favorite Living On Music with Steve Hauk. Tuesday, we are meeting Alexandria's Animals with the Animal Welfare League of Alexandria, another one of my favorite segments. Wednesday is Spring to Action Day. That's right. It is April 28th. You're going to be seeing us all day online, going live with some of your favorite local nonprofits and establishments and organizations. So definitely tune in for that one. We'll be up all day. And then Thursday is Dinner and DIY with Elisa Kovach of Alexandria Makers Market. So stay tuned for next week, guys. And remember to be the good news in someone's life.